Hi everyone! In this video we are sewing the blouse version of my Lénore pattern. This pattern includes 3 different lengths: a blouse, a mini dress, and a maxi dress. The color is completely optional. I would consider Lénore an intermediate sewing project, mainly because of the gathers and the ruffled collar. If you choose to make the version without the collar, the project becomes much easier. I recommend using a lightweight to medium weight woven fabric. If you'd like a silhouette with a bit more structure and volume, I recommend using poplin, linen, chambray, or double gauze. Cotton voile is another option, although it can be slightly sheer, so be careful. For a softer, more fluid drape, you can choose viscose, tencel, or a linen viscose blend. The collar and yokes are lined. You can use your main fabric for these pieces or choose a separate lining fabric. I think a cotton fabric such as poplin or cotton voile works particularly well. You'll also need some fusible interfacing for the collar. I recommend using a heat erasable marking pen to transfer your markings. Start by taking your bust, waist, and hips measurements, then refer to the body measurement chart included with the pattern. Find a size or sizes that match your measurements. For this pattern, your bust measurement is the most important one. Once you've selected your size, you can check the finished garment measurement table to make sure that the garment includes enough ease at the bust. And here, since Lénore is designed to have a relaxed fit, it's normal for the garment to include a lot of ease. You'll notice that each pattern piece has 2 lines. The outer, bolder line is the cutting line, while the inner line is the stitching line. The distance between these 2 lines is the seam allowance. For this pattern, as with almost all my patterns, the seam allowance is 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch. To print your pattern, I highly recommend using Acrobat Reader. It's a free PDF reader that includes very convenient features for sewing patterns. You can, for instance, hide, that is, toggle off the sizes that you don't want to print. Always print the first page only and check the test square to make sure the scale is correct. So let's say the pattern pieces, the front is here cut twice, the back cut on the fold, the front ties, the sleeves, and here the yoke, which is lined. The front is at the bottom, and here the back yoke. The reason why I have another fabric here is just because I didn't have enough of my green embroidered one, so I got green poplin as a replacement. I'll start with the ties, fold right sides together and sew like this. And then use the loop turner to turn the fabric inside out, and I repeat the operations 4 times. If the method with the loop turner doesn't work for you, maybe because your fabric is too thick or whatever other reason, then here's another option for you. You're going to take one strip and you're going to fold its long edges towards one another, making sure to leave a small space in between them that's going to be about the width of a match or a toothpick. Then we're folding once more and pressing down. And then we're going to concentrate on the tip. So you open one side, and then we fold, and then I'm letting you watch the process because it's a bit hard to describe with words. and then you top stitch, and you do this for all the strips. Okay, I'll take the yoke in the shell fabric, front and back parts. I lay them right sides touching at the shoulders, I sew respecting 1 centimeter of seam allowance. There is always 1 centimeter of seam allowance included in my patterns. Press the seam allowance open, and I do the same with the lining. Then I lay the shell and lining yokes right sides touching, and I sew along the collar. This is the result. I'll pin my ties in between the 2 yoke layers, following the notches. And I sew again, and you want to start your seam at the collar. So you pick up on the collar seam that you made before, and then you keep going down. Check that the ties are nicely sewed on the right side of the fabric before moving on to trimming the seam allowances. I take my front, so there are 2 symmetric parts, just showing you one here. I'll finish the center front edge with my overlocker. I lay the 2 fronts on top of one another. I'll take the pattern real quick just to check where the seam should start, and I sew from this pin all the way down. I press the seam allowance open, and so this is what I get on the right side of the fabric, and I top stitch. Now I'll gather the top edge of my front. I'll make 2 seams close to the edge and close to one another. I go back to my yoke parts. The wrong side of the fabric is visible. I open the 2 layers, and I'm going to pin the front on the outer yoke, right sides together. I pin first, then I pull the threads together, and when it's gathered the way I like, I stick a lot of pins. And I do the same with the other side. Before removing all the gathering threads, I check that everything is alright. If it's the case, I remove the gathering threads. Finally, let's understitch the collar. I did an understitch here at the front opening where the ties are, but now that I've worn the top a couple of times, I think it won't hurt, so I recommend you do it. I take the back, I gather along the top edge, I take the back yoke, I open it. Okay, this is wrong. There you go. They've got to be pinned right sides together. You want to create a little hem on 1 centimeter at the back yoke lining. Then you sew by hand. Then I'll enclose the seam allowance of the front yoke. So I did it on the right. You want to fold the lining on 1 centimeter again, and then you pin it while hiding the seam allowance. And I sew by hand again. Moving on to the sleeves, I'll start with gathering the sleeves. Observe where the notches containing the gatherings are. Then I sew 2 rows of basting stitches, longest stitch length on your machine, straight stitches and no securing stitches. I take the top, I pin at armholes so the fabric doesn't move. And I pin the sleeves respecting the notches. I pull together the fabric in between the notches. I check that everything is correct, and if it's the case, I finish the edges. Now I close the sides and I finish the edges. At the sleeve openings, we make 2 basting seams again. I'm going to take the cuff tape, which is basically going to be some bias, but it's not necessarily cut on bias. I sew their ends together. I press down and in half, I mark the middles and the quarters of both the cuff tape and the sleeve opening. I insert the sleeve ends in the cuff. I pull to create the gatherings. I pin the cuff to the sleeves, right sides together, and I sew. I remove the basting threads, I fold twice, and I pin to hold in place, and then I sew by hand. And this is the result. So here you could top stitch if you like. I don't see why I should, so I'm not doing it, but feel free to do it if you want. So the sleeves are done, which means that the last step for us is to make the hem. I'll finish the edges with my overlocker. And I fold this edge twice, and that's how I make my hem. The hem is done. Lastly, I'll top stitch the seam allowance of the sleeves. If I don't top stitch, the seam allowance flatten towards the sleeves and I don't like the way it looks then. And that's it for this project. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask them in the comment section, and see you soon for another project. Take care. Kiss.